So, a new bill has been introduced into Congress which aims to tax gun owners for every background check that we run, and it also aims to make you a criminal if an actual criminal steals your firearms. So, let's talk about this. But real quick before I jump into this video, if you think the federal government needs to stop infringing on our Second Amendment rights, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. I also want to give a shout out to one of the main supporters of this channel, which is USCCA. Through your membership, you get training, education, and self-defense and liability protection. So, if you carry a firearm, I highly recommend you take a look into USCCA, and I'll put a link to them down in the details section. Also want to thank another major supporter of this channel, which is Route 66, Shooting Sparks Park down in San Bernardino, California. If you guys came out to the Armed in May event last year, you know how amazing that range is, how amazing the staff is, and it was just a really good and fun event. So if you're in the Southern California area, if you're in the LA area, I highly recommend you guys check them out. And thank you again, Route 66, for supporting this channel. So like I said in the intro, in this video, we're going to be talking about a new bill that has been introduced into the House. This bill is HR 6575, also known as the Protecting Americans from Gun Violence Act of 2022. And this bill seeks to collect a fee/tax from every gun owner every time that we have a background check run when we're trying to purchase or transfer a firearm. The goal of this bill is claimed to reduce gun violence, fund gun violence research, and to enhance the tracking of lost and stolen firearms. This bill goes beyond just taxing gun owners every time we try to run a background check, but it also seeks to criminalize people if an actual criminal steals our firearms. How they're going to do this and how they're going to fund all this, again, is by taxing gun owners. So let's talk about what this bill is actually trying to do, and let's take a look at the text of this bill. The bill states, when pursuant to Section 922T of this title, a licensee under this chapter is first required to contact the National Instant Criminal Background Check System, or the NICS system, established under Section 103 of the Brady Handgun Violence Prevention Act, about a person with respect to a transaction involving one or more firearms, but before contacting the system, the licensee shall, and then it goes into subsection A, charge and collect from the person a fee in the amount equal to $1, regardless of the number of firearms involved in the transaction. B, provide the person with a time-stamped receipt acknowledging receipt of the fee from the person. C, maintain a written or electronic record of the transaction and the time-stamped receipt for 3 years. And then 2, not later than the end of the calendar quarter in which a licensee collects a fee under paragraph 1, the licensee shall transmit the amount of the fee to the Attorney General, who shall remit the amount to the Secretary of the Treasury. So the first thing this bill is going to do is it's going to charge everyone in the nation a $1 tax every time you purchase a firearm and have a background check run on you. Some of you may think $1, a fee of that amount, or essentially it's just a tax, isn't a major deal. But when you think about the fact that millions of NICS checks are actually run every single month in the US, that would lead to at least $12 million each year in taxes on gun owners going to the federal government. And where is this money going to go? Well, under this bill, the first $10 million shall be available without further appropriation to the CDC. That's right, they're going to send the first $10 million that they get from these taxes to the CDC. This money will then be used for research on gun violence, which the Biden administration is now claiming as a public health crisis, and that's how the CDC is getting involved in this. The next $5 million will then go to the Attorney General, and it will actually go towards the operation and maintenance of the NICS system. And the rest of the money will then be given to the FBI and the FBI's Victim Assistance Office within the FBI. And to make sure that gun stores will actually comply with this bill, the bill threatens that if they fail to actually charge this fee to gun owners, then for every time that they fail to charge this fee, that gun store can be charged $2,500, and that's per violation. So in a single day, if a gun store doesn't actually take this $1 fee from multiple people, they can get hit with a hefty fine. So the first part of this bill aims to take more money out of the pockets of law-abiding gun owners, and then it seeks to use that money for research that then will likely be used and will lead to more negative research and potentially gun control laws. That's kind of the whole goal, and that's likely the research that's going to come out of the CDC when they're sent all this money. However, this bill does not just stop at taxing gun owners for background checks. This bill also seeks to make it so that if a criminal steals your firearm, you can then be punished for that. This bill states, within 48 hours after a person who owns a firearm that has been shipped or transported in or has been possessed in or affecting interstate or foreign commerce discovers or should have discovered the threat or loss of the firearm, the person shall report the theft or loss to local law enforcement agencies. To the best of the person's ability, the person shall provide the following information if known. 1. A description of the firearm, including the make, model, manufacturer, caliber, and serial number of the firearm, and any other distinguishing number or identification marks on the firearm. 2. Whether the firearm is being reported lost or stolen. 3. The date of the loss or theft. 4. The person's name and address. 5. The location from which the firearm was lost or stolen. And here is the penalty attached with not reporting. The penalty for not reporting within 48 hours is a fine of $10,000 and or 1 year imprisonment. So if a criminal steals your firearm and you don't report it within 48 hours, and you should have known, or the local agency or whoever thinks that you should have known or should have reported within that 48 hours, well, then the government claims you are actually the criminal and you should be charged a hefty fine and or go to jail. This bill is one of those bills that doesn't look drastic on its face, but when you put it into context, this is a radical bill and it has radical impacts. The $1 tax for every background check not only taxes your exercise of a fundamental right, but then it results in millions of dollars being sent to the government for them to come up with research to further infringe on that right. Also, let's not forget, exercising your 2A rights is already very expensive. For example, in California, we already pay taxes on various things. We pay a state excise tax, plus a federal excise tax on purchases. We pay California DROS fees, FFL transfer fees, ammunition eligibility fees or fees on background checks for ammunition purchases, hefty CCW fees, firearm safety certificate fees, and that's not even mentioning the actual cost of firearms, the cost of ammunition, and all the costs required for accessories and everything you might need for you to actually safely holster that weapon or store that weapon in a safe, all the other just natural fees that come with you being a gun owner. All these fees put together have the underlying goal of pricing lower income individuals out of exercising their fundamental rights to keep and bear arms. And if charging gun owners wasn't enough, they also want to make gun owners criminals for not meeting an arbitrary time period for reporting stolen firearms. Again, instead of punishing the actual criminal who is stealing the firearm, they're going to punish you, the gun owner who had the firearm stolen from you. So this is a ridiculous bill, and I highly recommend you reach out to your local representatives in the House and Senate and let them know you oppose this bill. Let's not let this bill gain any traction, because the last thing we need to do is hand the government any more money for them to attack our rights. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and comment down below and I'll try to answer the best of my ability. Also, if you like this video and support the channel, one of the best ways to do that is to like, comment, and subscribe. All those things help to fuel the algorithm or fuel Al Gore's rhythm. It adds fuel to his jet and it signals to YouTube that you guys see value in these videos and the type of 2A news. Again, I cannot thank you guys enough for everybody who's liked, commented, subscribed, who's hit the notification bell, who shares these videos. You guys are directly impacting these videos, impacting this channel, and helping me to reach more people than I could have ever thought. So thank you so much for all of your support. Also, I want to let you guys know that I was notified once again that I made the top 4 for the Gundy's Breakout Creator of the Year. So I not only made the top 2A voices, but I also made the top 4 for Breakout Creator. So again, I want to thank you guys for all of your support, for everybody who voted for me. This is all because of you guys, and I cannot thank you enough. So as always, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And never forget, this is with Built Bar Arms Scholars, and it's nationally maintained Bar Arms Scholars.